What's up, everybody? Welcome to 3D Rivals, your first line of defense against stupid movies. My name is DJ, and as always, I'm joined by my co-host, my sister,
Dora
the Explorer, and then my friend Dan.
Well, though, wait, I'm not fully next.
You were next on the Discord call, so I just
caught me off guard. What up, though, baby?
And my brother Derek.
What's up, everybody?
This week,
is Darren's voice in this video this time?
Oh yeah, is it? How's that going, Dan?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's doing good today.
All right, this week on 3D Rivals, we're going to be talking about the Netflix original movie, Enola Holmes, which is a spinoff of Sherlock Holmes. We're talking about his little sister. We'll tell you what we thought about it. Is it the best or worst movie ever? We'll find out. But first, as always, we'll get into the news. I'll have just a little bit of news. First thing, we mentioned before on the podcast that there was going to be a Static Shock live action movie. And it has been confirmed that Michael B. Jordan will be producing said movie.
Whoa.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Now, would this be
They got
his
another
first
movie on Netflix?
movie?
The Raising Dion thing?
What? Hold on.
That's a TV show, isn't it?
Raising Dion? Yeah, it's a Netflix TV show. I don't know what that's about.
Yeah, didn't Michael B. Jordan have something to do with that? Like to co-produce something like that?
Oh, you know what? Yeah, he did. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
He did. And he was in this show too.
Was that any good?
Not every episode. Yeah, it was. It is. It's about his son that's like, I say 7 or 8 years old, and he finds out that he has powers.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so that could be good. Now, since this came out, everybody has, like, people were like, oh, is he going to play Virgil Hawkins and blah, blah, blah. Michael B. Jordan is 33, people.
Yeah, he's too old.
He's 33. I think we're past the point of people in their 30s playing teenagers. So I don't know. He might be in the movie, but I don't.
Especially when they look 30. I mean,
yeah, he looks like a grown
he can
man.
pass. But who? Since we're talking about it, like who is who's out there? It would have to be a no-name guy, right? We don't have any young.
I knew.
Yeah.
What about the black kid on Stranger Things?
I'm gonna pass on that.
Not for this, bro. No.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Okay. It was too dorky.
I didn't want to say that.
Well, he's supposed to look dorky on Stranger Things because they're all playing dorks.
Well, I need to see him in something else.
Yeah, I can't see him not being dorky. I mean, just saying, no, not to him. I mean, I love the show Stranger Things. It's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, when is next season of that coming out?
I don't know. It got delayed, right?
Yeah,
It would be season 4, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not until next year, I bet.
And they're gonna be grown.
Yeah. Because what's her face aged up quick? Millie Bobby Brown?
Yeah, she looks like she doesn't look like a grown woman, but like she definitely looks closer to it than she did in the show in Stranger Things. It's like she definitely looks older. Yeah, Michael B. Jordan. So maybe this is something positive for the Static Shock movie. Maybe it can be something decent. We know it's Warner Brothers, and they can be hit or miss with what they do. So we'll see what they do.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers DC hasn't been that great though, so I'm not so sure.
Because it's gonna be all gray or bluish gray or whatever gray shading DC love to put in their movies, and he's gonna be all depressed. It's just you already know. Yeah,
I was like, it's gonna be serious. It's gonna be a super dark movie.
I mean, speaking of dark, y'all seen that Batman movie that's on Netflix?
Nah.
What Batman movies on Netflix?
The Killing Joke. It's an animated movie. The Killing.
Oh no, we didn't watch
Joke.
Is that free $99? That's not free.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Batman, The Killing Joke.
Yep. I don't know. Maybe
it was pretty good though. You should check it out. I think you would like it because I think you would like it, Dora.
Oh man.
Write that down.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this person. Thinking about this person I know had her on my mind. But yeah. Dora, you might know her.
I'm gonna bleep that out because Dora's real name is like a swear word. So
yeah, I'm fair around here, man. But yeah, I think you would like it though because you're you. I think you'd like it.
I take offense to that.
He said because you.
Because like, what kind of nonsense?
Because you are special. You know, you really are. You're the only one like you. There isn't any other in the whole wide world who do the thing you do.
There's no one else like you.
Everyone is special.
Oh no. No. All right, moving on in the news. The Mandalorian season 3 is set to start shooting before the end of 2020.
Wait.
Pascal,
season
whatever.
2 should be coming out next week.
No, October 30th.
So in 2 weeks.
That's next week.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Can you do math? That is not next week.
Breaking the fourth wall is currently October 18th, making the 30th 12 days from now.
Fine.
12 days is different than 1 week.
It's a lot different. It's almost 2 weeks.
It's almost 2 weeks. It's almost 2 weeks. Close it in.
We don't have to
Minus
count
a weekend.
days.
We don't what?
Which day are we counting?
We don't have to count some of those days.
Okay.
Oh, okay. It's
Not
it's
on
a
my
week
time
of
sheet
work
at work.
days. A week of work
Yeah.
days. It's not even
That
that.
week don't
It's
count.
not even that though. So,
Yes. I don't have some issues with the guy who plays the Mandalorian, Pascal, whatever. his name is.
Pedro Pascal.
Yeah.
It is Pedro, right? I sound real bad if I just call him.
Yeah, dude. Like, really? Are you
I
just
think-
guessing based on what context?
Thor.
He was having some contract problems. I never read the story because I didn't care, but that's what the internet was saying. I guess that's resolved.
I mean, come on. Mandalorian is popular. There's no way he's not doing it.
First, somewhere.
Maybe because it got so popular, more money.
They want more money for it.
Could be. He could end up like Terrence Howard. I'm just saying.
They just replace. I mean, the Mandalorian does keep his mask on all the time.
You don't see his
Yeah,
face.
so it's like we don't need. I mean, we're accustomed to his face or anything.
Yeah,
Hey, I barely know his name.
like
Yeah, they replaced him. I wouldn't know.
we showed his face once in season 1. That's it. We don't have to do it again.
Yeah, dude. It's like, you
I
better
mean, if
calm
they
down,
show
man.
another
Take whatever
face
money
in
you got now.
season 2, I don't think anyone would have an issue with it.
I
Probably
wouldn't
not.
either. I mean, look what they did with Anvil.
No.
Yeah, and Harriet on Family Matters.
Yeah, and Claire on My Wife and Kids.
Note to actors: you can be replaced.
Yeah, man.
Look, well,
be graceful, man.
Edward Norton in The Hawk and Terrence Howard in Iron Man.
Yeah, there you go.
Shall we continue?
We have a lot of examples to choose from.
So, yeah, I just thought this was pretty quick for them to start shooting season 3, considering season 2 hasn't even hit yet. But they must have a lot of faith in this series, so that's good.
That and they ain't got nothing else to show, so might as well show something.
Yeah, there was a little thing that Disney was going to start focusing more on their streaming platform instead of movies, probably because they missed an entire year of revenue from movies. So,
Yeah. Oh, that reminds me. I did have a little piece of rumor.
okay.
So the reason they haven't dropped Black Widow on a streaming service is like Kevin Feige is against it, according to the internet.
Yeah, I did see that. I saw that, Dora. Yeah.
All right,
He's the reason on why it's not.
my next bit of news may go against that a little bit.
All right.
Okay, that is just
Okay.
a rumor. I don't know if it's Kevin Feige, but there is a Disney stakeholder that is outspoken in pushing Black Widow to be released on Disney Plus because he said he thinks it's the best thing for the company. Now, if they start getting more pushback from other stakeholders, they may just have to do it. But in his statement, I believe he said he knows that the old line people, talking about other stakeholders and stuff higher up in Disney, want to push for the movie theater money on that. And he's saying that they don't understand what they have in the streaming service. Like, they have something really good and they should focus on it. So I don't know if it's Kevin Feige. I'm not so sure. I think Kevin Feige, he's making the movies. He just wants to make good movies. I'm not so sure he would care how much money Disney makes off of it.
Well,
you know?
About the money, yeah, he was saying that, according to the internet, he was saying that the Black Widow deserves a whatever release where you can enjoy that experience of being in the movie theater. Okay. He said that movie is how you should watch the movie, which I would agree. But but if I gotta wait a whole year, I'd rather just have it.
He may also feel that way because he wanted to have a Black Widow movie in Phase 1, and the head of Marvel wouldn't let him do it. And you know, it might feel like you're giving Black Widow the short end of the stick if she doesn't get a theatrical release when all the other Avengers did.
I can see that. Like, right, you get your female led movie and then it's on a streaming service.
Yeah.
Without getting the justice it deserved to be up there with one of the, you know, the movies as everyone else. But at this point, I just want to see the movie.
Captain Marvel, that was a female-led movie.
Yeah, but no one liked it, though.
True.
Yeah, but it was still female-led.
Yeah, but they only have one.
Share in Disney. You think I can weigh in on some opinions?
You have one share?
No. You might want to have more than one share.
No. When they say stakeholder...
You better go and get up in there like, hey, I got to share, yo. I'm a part of this company too. Don't tell me I'm minimal.
When they say stakeholder, I'm guessing they're talking about someone that actually comes to board meetings and stuff. Not
okay, so go to a board meeting. Flights is real cheap right now.
I'm a few 100,000 shares away.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they'll let you in the board meeting. You could tell them you've got one.
Hey man, I got a share.
They're gonna look at you like, man. We'll take that.
Can you guys keep me at the next meeting, please?
They're like, we'll take that share back now, please.
I'd like to weigh in on the next decision.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I kind of see that, but I think they maybe should start looking at the movies following Black Widow and whether or not they should have those come out on Disney Plus. They might want to focus on it because I don't know, man. A 2-year delay for our Marvel movies kind of suck.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking they could be worried that with constant delays with movies. I mean, you got to think actors get older.
Yeah.
You know, and some of these movies haven't even begun filming. You know, so it's like you losing time.
True.
Well, I mean, I don't know. You don't have any actors that you're worried about like getting too old.
Right. A lot of them
in their 30s. I think they're going to look the same regardless.
Yeah, I think it's more of if a movie
they keep putting on Spider-Man with Tom Holland. He gonna look like how Tobey Maguire looked in Spider-Man 3.
It is true.
That's true.
Tom Holland is looking more and more like an adult. I mean, I know he is an adult, but like he had a real boyish look. He doesn't have a
baby face anymore.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a point there. But Sony is going ahead with Spider-Man, so I don't know. Like they're gonna release that.
They can start shooting. It's all about whether or not we can see it.
True. Very true.
I might as well go ahead and shoot it and get it done. Then. Don't hold off on shooting. Go ahead and do the shooting, so that way when you can release it, it's ready.
Yeah, they might see how their Disney Plus series do. If the Disney Plus series do really well, maybe you'll see some shifts over.
And the theaters in New York, New York State, is getting ready to open, so that'll help.
Okay.
Maybe, although everyone lives in New York City, and those theaters are still closed.
here's the thing. So they're getting ready to open. Cool, that's great and stuff. But there's a third wave for the United States. Just the first wave still again being bigger than it was. So I don't feel like this is going to last long if they reopen.
Well, numbers in our state has went up every day this week.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
they skyrocket.
Yeah.
Give it 2 weeks and then the death count will go up.
Mostly from these schools. Kids going to school.
Yeah.
So I guess to just wait and see.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah. So that was about all the news that I was able to gather. What about you guys? Did you pick anything up?
No. Disney Plus does have the show about NASA that I actually find kind of interesting.
I saw a preview on.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is different because it's not like superheroes. It's like a grown adult show.
Well, I resent the end of your statement there, but okay.
I mean, come on, 99% of stuff on Disney Plus is childish.
Well, it's Disney.
So it was a pleasant surprise, and it was a surprise that like it didn't suck.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't use the only thing I use my Disney Plus for is to so my son can watch Mickey Mouse Clubhouse. Like that's about it. And Cars.
You don't use it for Marvel?
You don't watch
Simpsons?
When we watch the Marvel movies, yeah, I use my Disney Plus, but I'm not watching that every day.
But the Simpsons, man. Simpsons season 31 is hilarious, man. Like, oh my god, it's insanely hilarious though. Like,
I just watch random episodes.
I haven't. When I first got Disney Plus, I started watching The Simpsons, and I'm gonna start from season 1. I made it partly in season 2, and then I just stopped watching it. I don't. You don't.
Like when I watch The Simpsons, I like flip through the seasons, and then whatever season it land on, I just pick an episode in the middle. It's always funny.
Always funny. I'm telling you, The Simpsons, man, they're like classic funny. Like they got funny online.
They are classic funny. That's true.
And I watch it while I'm working.
Fair enough. I usually watch YouTube while I'm working.
And Spider-Man.
No, I watch The Simpsons and X-Men while I'm working.
Interesting. Maybe I should do that because I was running out of content on YouTube.
And The Office.
Oh, The Office would be a good thing to watch while you work.
True. Very true.
Yeah.
Shows to watch while you work. That sounds like an episode that we should do here on 3D Rivals.
We should. Let's lock that away. Put it in the bank.
Yep. But I guess we'll move on here. And, if you were thinking of episodes to start in your own podcast, you might need a hosting service. And Buzzsprout is a perfect hosting service. Buzzsprout is hands down the easiest and best way to launch and promote and track your podcast. Your show can be online and listed in all major podcast directories like Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and more within minutes of finishing your recording. So if you're looking to start a podcast, check out our affiliate link below where you can sign up for Buzzsprout yourself. That being said, let's talk Enola Holmes.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to give my brief overview. Yeah. I think I'm going to have the nicest overview here of the movie. Okay. And then we'll let Dora the Explorer and Derek destroy the movie. So I thought it was okay. It's not a movie that I generally would suggest hey, you should go check this out. It was all right. It didn't kill me to watch it. I would say, but to me it didn't feel like Sherlock Holmes, if you're going to make a spin-off of Sherlock Holmes and it's his sister, I know she's not Sherlock Holmes, so it can't be exactly the same, but it didn't feel like a movie that was a part of the Sherlock Holmes universe, It didn't feel like it existed in there for me.
That is my main issue. I just felt like the characters, and I will say this, Millie Bobby Brown to me did a good job. However, all the other characters were empty balls of nothingness.
Yeah, even you had a pretty good actor in Henry Cavill, right? He's playing Sherlock Holmes. He was And it's not
Blah.
him. Yeah, but he was blah in that entire movie. And it shouldn't have been. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, it was just kind of a weird feeling. But I can see some people liking the movie. Like, my wife liked it. But it seems like one of the type of movies that she likes. Like the old style Victorian movie that you generally watch. Or like Downton Abbey. I don't know. Something like that. But it's just not my cup of tea, I guess.
This movie, because I know it's based off a series of like young adult books, and I don't think it's one of those movies that transfer. But like, if you're not a young adult or a 12-year-old, I feel like you're not gonna like it that much. And I just
A 12-year-old.
It did not feel to me. It did not feel like a movie for adults.
No, yeah, you know what? I feel you.
It was simple and stupid to me. And I'm just like, this is not an adult movie.
Wow.
It did feel like a Sherlock Holmes for kids, basically.
Yeah, it did. Which I don't know. It was weird. Which I mean, it was rated PG-13, so I don't. Y'all could just go ahead and rated that G, because yeah.
Oh no, it had explosions in it. You know.
I think because of certain sequences warrant a higher rating.
Yeah, I don't know. And one of my issues is like, she's supposed to be depicted as like a brilliant detective, like on the same line as Sherlock, right? But she didn't do anything special. All of her clues was just rearranging words. I can do that in my sleep.
So she played Scrabble.
Yes.
Basically,
Yeah,
honestly.
No.
Yes.
No lie. She had a Scrabble board with the tiles and rearranged the letters.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
So I'm like, 99% of her clues was Scrabble and a flower.
Yeah, she didn't have deep clues. They did give Henry Cavill one thing where, you know, he actually did some detective work. And it did show, like, at the end of the movie, like, Henry Cavill figured out the mystery that was going on during the movie. And then they had this line of, oh, your sister solved it first. But when you looked at it, and to be honest, I'm like, it's a good thing because she shouldn't be better than Sherlock. She didn't solve it.
She stumbled into it.
Yeah, like she went, and I guess we can get to the story of the movie. Maybe we should tell people the story of the movie before.
Wait a minute. We should say spoiler, because if you haven't seen it, we're going to tell you the end.
Yeah, spoilers for Enola Holmes if you haven't seen it. But it was this kid that people were trying to kill him. He's a viscount. If you don't know, back in the old days, that was a high rank in the class system. It probably still is a thing. Right? It probably still a thing.
I don't know. I know nothing about London.
But he's a nobleman, I guess you could say, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're trying to kill him. So basically, you're trying to figure out who's going to kill him. There are other mysteries going on in the movie, but that's the most important one. Who's trying to kill this kid? And they thought it was his uncle, because his uncle would be next in line, right? And also, they were voting on like women's rights or something like that, and his uncle, it seemed, did not agree with it, so they're trying to kill him to keep things the same in London, England. When it comes to find out, Enola Holmes goes to the house thinking that it's the uncle, just like they pointed everything out to, and it turns out to be the grandmother. Like, first of all, the grandma was a good shot. Oh my gosh. Like, Enola, she was dead. She would have been dead.
I will admit, I did not see that coming. I mean, like, Gurney had a shotgun. Like,
yeah,
I did not
dude.
see that coming.
Sounds like a song.
Grandma had a shotgun.
No, Grandma got ran over by a reindeer.
Yeah, Grandma.
Yeah.
But yeah, if she didn't run out of shots, Enola would have been dead. But so here's the thing. So they said Enola solved it before Sherlock, but she didn't. She went there thinking she solved it, that it was the uncle, the same way Sherlock would have, but Sherlock was able to deduce it wasn't based on a picture because he's Sherlock. And she stumbled. She wouldn't have known it was the grandmother if the grandma didn't brandish a shotgun and try to shoot her. So she actually didn't solve the case before Sherlock, which I think it should be that way. But Dora, I think you're right. They were trying to put it as like she's like this prodigy type of deal, and not actually. She didn't do a lot of detective work in that.
She didn't. She solved no issues. She didn't even find her mom, which is what she set out to do.
That's true. She didn't find her mom.
Just, it is not sad. We're gonna talk about that later in my nitpicks.
So yeah, I mean, it was the beginning. I'll put it this like the beginning of the movie kind of lost me. I was like, but towards the middle, I wasn't engaged, I would say, but it was better than the beginning, so I could watch it.
Well, you know what? I could do without the narration.
Yeah, I was going to talk about
so
that.
Much.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that in my nitpicks.
Sherlock Holmes
does he?
No, he doesn't.
Narrate?
No, she was doing fourth wall narration, like in the scene, looking at us talking during the movie.
Yeah, okay. Sherlock Holmes doesn't narrate. And if you're talking about the books, which you haven't read, they're all based off of stories written by John Watson. So again, Sherlock doesn't narrate.
Right.
Wait, so Henry Cavill plays Sherlock Holmes? Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Was that it?
That was just you. Wait, what? That's what you got from this whole thing? He's like, hold on, wait a second. Henry Cavill plays Sherlock Holmes.
Because y'all kept mentioning him. I'm like, Henry Cavill. Like, why do you keep bringing him up? Because I thought it was about her.
Well,
yeah, it is.
Yeah, but he's Sherlock Holmes, and then some guy plays Mycroft, who's also done the injustice in this movie.
Yeah, I don't know. And it seemed like Mycroft wasn't that smart. I thought Mycroft was supposed to be smart too.
Mycroft is actually supposed to be smarter than Sherlock.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And Moriarty is supposed to be smarter than all of them.
Yeah. But yes, no, he was depicted as not being smart in this movie.
Okay.
That's not cool.
No, it's not.
No, indeedy. Okay. Well, any other...
This was actually supposed to be released in theaters.
Yeah.
Was it?
yes.
I just
Owned
found that
by
it
Warner
was born.
Brothers.
It was born. Yes. Yep, and they sold the rights to Netflix to show it.
This wasn't going to make money.
No, it was not.
Nah, I doubt it. It was not.
As a streaming movie, I'm fine with it, but theaters, I don't think so.
I know, like, you would have want your $13.50 back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely would have waited till this came out.
$5 holla.
Or that $5 holla. Yeah, you're right. You don't pay full price for this.
I definitely would have waited.
$5 back, and you can take your free popcorn back too.
Okay. Okay. Well, so yeah, those are my thoughts on the movie. I was waiting for them to do the cool her deducing things in her mind. I know she's not Sherlock, but I don't know.
You was waiting for that cool Sherlock moment, like when you're watching the TV shows and you're like, oh, that's how you figured it out?
Yeah.
Where he can be like, oh, yeah, I tell you just got out of the army because of tan and this and this and this. And you're like, oh, man, you didn't even notice all of those things. Did not get that moment at all because she was just playing with puzzles the entire movie.
It definitely didn't get that moment in the movie. Yeah, it's a bit rough. You guys have any other thoughts? I think that's all I gotta say about the movie.
I think it was all said. We already talked about how they yada yada her mother mystery. I'm like, why would we even put that in if we weren't going to solve it?
Yeah, it was the main mystery in the beginning of the movie, and it kind of got left behind. And then they set up this whole plot that her mother was gonna like be a terrorist, and terrorists attack the government and whatnot. And then I guess she didn't because they solved the problem by saving the kid.
Solve the problem, and then they just kind of just forgot about it. And I'm just like, okay, are we just gonna forget all of this? It was just weird. They just left the storyline behind, and I'm like, you were just better off not even including it. Although I know it was in the book, but I don't know if the book also just left it behind or not. But it was pointless.
Yeah, it feels weird for it to be such a big plot point, and then by halfway through the movie, it's kind of dropped. It makes it feel really weird, and then by the end of the movie, it's just not solved at all, and her mother just pops up. Um, it feels unearned, I guess.
Incomplete.
Yeah,
And like we solved no issues today.
Hence on why I fell asleep watching the movie.
Uh-huh.
all right. So Derek didn't get the full movie. All right. Well, then, D, you usually have some extra stuff. You got extra stuff?
Yeah, some random movie facts. Okay, as Derek mentioned, it was originally planned for full release by Warner Brothers. They sold the rights to Netflix because of COVID-19. I think that was a smart move on y'all part because who wants to pay?
Yeah.
Agreed.
As we know, Sherlock Holmes is based off a series of stories by Conan. Was it Conan Allen Doyle? Something like that?
No, Conan O'Brien. Conan O'Brien.
Was it? Whatever.
You got the last part right.
What's his first name? Arthur.
Arthur.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
Is it
I think so.
Arthur?
Yeah.
Something like that. Whatever. Anyways, his estate is suing Netflix for copyright infringement because they say the portrayal of Sherlock Holmes is not accurate to the stories. Sherlock Holmes in this movie is too caring and empathetic in this film. I agree.
Okay.
I would agree. I just felt like it didn't feel like Sherlock. Like Sherlock's whole being is just like he doesn't really care. You know what I mean? Like he's about I'm going to solve this case, and he's like he's being nice. It's not who he is. Not that like he doesn't. It's their property. You gotta show it right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because one, you got to figure the stories was written in the 1800s, so they don't get money off of the books or nothing anymore. So they own this one little piece. You better tell the story right.
Yeah, I feel like he was really caring and empathetic, and I know like Sherlock actually does have people he care about in his life, and I guess they were going like, well, it's his sister, he would care about her, but he typically doesn't openly show it. You know,
Exactly.
he
Like
will.
he cares about Watson, but he doesn't openly show that Watson is his best friend.
Yeah, he'll act on it, like he'll make sure nothing happens to them, but comforting them, I don't think that's a thing Sherlock would do.
It's not in his personality.
In the little bit that I saw, I felt like I didn't like the Sherlock and Mycroft relationship. Like, I mean, if you didn't know that was his brother, you would have thought that was Watson. Yeah, I didn't like how they portrayed their relationship in this movie.
It was portrayed all types of wrong. So yeah, it was not accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds like it was a bit of a flop, but like I said, I can see a certain crowd actually liking this movie. It definitely seems like it's geared towards a certain crowd. I think if you like honestly, I think if you like romance movies, you probably like this. If you like Downton Abbey, stuff like that, you probably like this. So it's just to me, it just doesn't fit the Sherlock crowd.
Sherlock's name on it.
Yeah, I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Doesn't fit that.
Okay.
What else you got?
Okay, so Millie Bobby Brown was actually a producer on this movie, making her one of the youngest people to have a producer credit. So good for her.
Okay, pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, why is she the only one that gets is getting movie roles from Stranger Things?
The other boy is the main character. Boy does he shows up in things.
What?
I don't know his name. I don't know his name, but I see him. I'm like, oh, that's the kid from Stranger Things.
I have not seen.
He's been in stuff.
Anything. Okay. We say beer commercials.
Is he in anything notable? Or?
I mean, notable. I mean, I would say is I don't know. I want the IMDb it. I've seen him and stuff, and I'm like, oh, but I don't know his name, so I can't really say like what he's been in. But he's been in stuff. He's been in a couple of movies, hasn't he? I think he has.
Maybe I just haven't seen him.
I think he
don't recognize him. I don't know.
usually plays like a nerdy kid, doesn't he?
I guess so. I only saw him. Yeah.
No. Maybe he had glasses on and he took the glasses off. Like, okay.
No, I'm sure.
I see him.
We can look it up and confirm. Okay.
Okay, yeah, I might have to. I don't know.
So, like, this story really isn't canon because they kept saying how Sherlock always works alone or whatever. But if the story really takes place in 1884, then that means that it took place after he met Dr. Watson, because he met Dr. Watson in the story of in Scarlet. I think that's the name of the first book, which took place in 1881. So whatever, they need to get the facts straight.
Mm-hmm.
Because that means Watson should have been in this movie and was not.
Yeah, I was like, they didn't put a Watson, but I'm guessing because you're supposed to be focusing on Enola Holmes. But
then don't even give me Sherlock. Because when they said it, I'm like, well, what about Watson?
right.
It didn't make any sense. Yeah. So that was my last random movie fact. We want to move into nitpicks.
I was gonna say, when did England go to a democracy? I don't know.
I barely know American history. I'm supposed to know British history too.
Well, okay, never mind. Because I was like, oh, would they been voting on stuff like this? But okay.
I think they would have. I think that part is not that far off.
Okay, cool.
The vote didn't pass.
In real life, it didn't pass?
In real life, yeah.
Of course not.
Are we ready for nitpicks?
Yeah.
Okay. Number one, her detective skills are kind of blah, right?
Yes.
Like, at no point did I ever feel like she was the smartest person in the room.
No, she didn't seem that way. I don't know. What throws me off about this whole movie is her fourth wall narration. That was just weird. Every time she did it.
Yeah. I'm like, I think it was supposed to be funny, but it wasn't. I didn't get it. Because you know, like how with Malcolm in the Middle, he breaks the fourth wall? I enjoy that. I did not enjoy it in this movie.
Yeah, that's exactly how it was, too. It just wasn't... It doesn't fit the movie to me. I don't...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I never got the impression that... I don't know. Maybe next time they should focus more on that instead of whatever else was going on in this movie. I think for a lot of it was all about empowering women or whatever. I could do with less of that.
Well, from a woman?
I'm
just saying, like, I don't need nobody to tell me I'm awesome. I already know that. I don't need a movie to empower me. I do what I want to do.
Well, I felt like at first it seemed like it was going to come on strong with that, but then it didn't so much throughout the story. So I was okay with it because, like, I'm okay with a women empowerment story, but then, like, with the stuff her mom was doing, it really made it seem it was just going to be like, you know, just, I don't know, unrealistic in your face type of deal. And I think it was fine by the end of it. Like,
it was fine. It wasn't too much in the face. I felt like the movie focused too much on that and less on her detective skills.
Yeah, because to be honest, if you make her a detective and she's a great detective, that's, without putting it in your face, that is an actual empowerment to women, right? She is a woman detective that is really good. Like, I don't know. I feel like you should just do... we mentioned it before in the podcast. If you want to represent people and you want to speak well for them, instead of throwing it in there, instead of having a movie and writing dialogue, black people are great. Maybe just have a great black character, or maybe just have a great female character, and that speaks for itself. Like, you don't have to throw the things in the audience face like, hey, get this message. You know, the message should be understood by just the movie that you wrote.
Yeah. And then I mean that's just like because like a lot of part of the movie was that Mycroft was like I guess she's not ladylike enough, so he wanted to send her to finishing school, right? Because so she has to wear dresses and the corsets and all of that, and eat a certain way and walk a certain way, and her whole thing was that
And has to be married.
Yeah, that's some mess. That's how it was back then, but lots of messed up stuff, dude.
And had and like how she's like she didn't want that life. And she was going to break the mold. And I kind of would rather just show me breaking her the mold, you know what I mean? Instead of Markov is going to force her into this, basically, this sexist mindset of this is what women should be doing.
Right.
And I just, to me, especially since, like, we already have all this Sherlock stuff, I would rather more focus on her detective skills and not that part of the story. Because I feel like that's where you lost me.
Yeah, I think they can do something like this well. They're like, this can be done well. But I don't know if you're, like you said, if you're gonna have a spinoff of a Sherlock series, it's got to be a detective series. That's what you got to focus on. No matter who's the main character, it's a detective series because that's what people watch Sherlock Holmes for.
Detectivity.
Exactly. But, maybe, it was relatively successful, so there'll probably be a sequel. Maybe the sequel, now that we know who she is, will focus more on her detective skills.
Well, yeah, because at the end of the movie, she said she was a detective, right?
Yeah.
I did see that there might be a sequel, that Millie Brown agreed to doing a sequel. So.
There will be. There's always a sequel.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm down if they focus more on the detective work in the movie.
All right. So my last nitpick, like, we just gonna ignore the fact that her mom was a terrorist? Because her mom's a straight up terrorist.
Yeah, she was gonna blow up some government people, right?
She was gonna blow up some government people, and then she just decided because she was fighting for women's voting rights, and she had all of this. Yes. Apparently, she was part of this radical group.
Honestly, their plan wasn't good because that was not going to get them their voting rights. That was kind of dumb. But, it was just weird. At one point, she's like, "You found the bombs." I'm like, "Yeah, your mom's a terrorist." Then it was just like, shrug, on to the next thing. And I'm like, would have been more interesting if she was following this trail. Like, she runs into the boy, she like, okay, get away from me now, I don't want to deal with you. Following her mom's trail, it turns out her mom and her group of women are planning to assassinate the boy because they wanted somebody to, or they're planning to assassinate somebody because they wanted to get the women's right vote through. That actually would have made more sense, and I think would have been more compelling, right, if they do that.
If she actually had to stop her mom from doing it, because her mom was basically like, well, I'm not going to do it right now. Not that she will never ever do it, or she changed her ways or nothing. Yeah. It's just, okay, today I decided not to blow something up. So excuse me. It was a little weird. So that was just that kind of got me.
Okay.
I think it was like one of those like side plots to the movie, but then they don't expound on it.
Plot, not the side plot.
It wasn't really a side plot because it didn't get resolved.
It didn't get resolved at all.
And it wasn't left to be like as a cliffhanger either.
Her mom just showed up like, okay, I didn't blow up anything today, but I'm still gonna leave you though.
Yeah, right.
What was the point of all of this?
And then why was she abandoning her daughter forever for a plot for some bombs?
I'm thinking because once you become a terrorist, you probably don't want your teenage daughter around. Just thought.
No, she was already a terrorist.
Hey, she's about to go to jail.
Well, alrighty. Well, anything else you had, Dora?
That was it.
That was it. So, are we on to our ratings of Enola Holmes?
Yep.
All right. I'm gonna start because I'm gonna give it its best rating. I'm gonna put it watch while folding clothes. Probably the lower end of that, but like if it was on and I had nothing else to do, I guess I could leave it on. So that's my rating.
Pure torture.
All right, it is pure torture for Dora. Derek.
I agree. It was pure torture.
Okay. Dan.
I can't rate it because I didn't watch it. So, but I mean, listening to y'all, I don't know. Like I have to see it.
Yeah. We're not gonna count. We're not gonna count your rating.
Watch it this week and then come back to us with your rating.
Okay.
All right, so I'm outvoted. So according to 3D Rivals, Enola Holmes is pure torture. And with that being said, that is all we have for the podcast this week. Make sure you guys follow and rate and subscribe on whatever you're listening to us on. We really appreciate that, and that way you'll know when we have more episodes. We usually post an episode every Sunday, so if you want to hear some more movie news and learn about some movies that's out, none of the new movies that are not coming out this year, then you can follow us on there to get some good news. You also can reach out to us on Facebook. It's facebook.com/3D Rivals. We're on Twitter. It is 3_rivals on Twitter. And Gmail, 3drivals@gmail.com. Also, we're on Twitch now. We only have one thing up there, but we'll be on there soon. If you want to preemptively follow us, it is twitch.tv/3D Rivals. Other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys, or listening. We appreciate it. Peace out.